Good afternoon, everyone. So, today's topic is basics of C#. Okay. I'll just do a bit of editing because I guess this should be. Okay. You guys are able to see what and all topics are there to discuss, right? And at the same time, we'll do bit up programming also. So yesterday what we discussed is everybody should have a GitHub account. And how many of you are having it? Sunil, what about you? GitHub account you have created? And that should not be with vSoftware, I think so most of the, right? With your personal IDs, because this is just for training purpose. So we should have our personal Git IDs. So we'll also get to know how to upload your project on Git. As of now, if you guys have worked also, what you have done is you have downloaded the project from Git rather than creating a project from Visual Studio to Git. Okay, because that will come for you basic setup, somebody else would have done it for you. So we'll also learn that. So first topic is program structure. So we'll try to understand what program structure in C# is. Okay. Just like any other programming, we have a very basic structure. So let's open Visual Studio, because this class mostly will be on and off, because whatever we do will have a corresponding practical sessions. Okay, so just keep that thing in mind so that you know what is projected on the screen. We are discussing that. Okay. Okay, so anybody, and how many of you have actually gone through C, before starting up C#? Not now, like earlier in your career also, if you have read C, it will be helpful, yeah. So most of you don't have much exposure on any programming language. What's say? You are engineering student, right? You would have had C by default in the first semester.
Yeah, but it was, I've forgotten that, but
I'm just asking. We'll not have a knowledge checking session. It's just like it will be easier for me to communicate if you know basics of. So a very popular line in C was you had few includes. After that you had main, right? Main was a method or function there, and we used to write code. Our function. So that was the entry point to your program where you write main function. Now here also in C# concept is little similar, but we will not see our examples with that. I'll open the same project what we have opened yesterday. Okay, where it is gone. It's here. not able to move this to. Not responding. Let's wait for a while. Sayed, this is your job. You have given me a very good system. Good one. Yes, just come here now. You're able to see this now? Now here you don't have any method, right? Okay. Why we are not writing any method as of now? Because we have not read about methods yet. So we'll continue to do that for some time till we get familiar with what method is. Now, people in the front row, you help me in citing, because as I told earlier, what is this written? First one? Okay. What is the first option? And the second one? Third one? There will be an option to connect to Git in the left hand side. This one is the Git. So first thing is we have to sign in with. Let me pull it here. And I was laughing on my brothers that they can't see. I have become like that now. Okay, full. Okay. Visual Store project test. License, no. Add readme. See now, if I can put it back there. Okay. So if we say create repository, in the second line we see here sign in, right? Because we are trying to create. आपको भी नहीं दिख रहा? Very good. Okay, because of that I thought because of eyesight. Okay. Okay. And there's a window here. I am not able to pull it there. Let it open and then if I see. Okay. So this will ask me to sign in. The possibilities. Okay. OTP. It is OTP or in the mail? Can you just?
OTP mobile as well as mail.
Okay, then I will verify through mail. In our office network is very good. Just like Sayed's system provided to me. Okay, GitHub, yes. Okay. This is done. Path is exactly the path of the project. Can you see someone which says it is private? We have to keep it private or public. Last one, which is this? Private, right? It should be private only. This is create. Okay, very good. So now, once we do that, right, all the code what we have created will be pushed to, as you can see, okay. Now instead of showing all those things, it has come here. And after, beyond that, I think so most of the people will be familiar what to do. So you understood, because till now there might be a confusion, especially with developers and designers, because they know how to push their changes, but they don't know how to create the project and integrate with Git. It's very simple. If you already have a project, you can clone it, like there is an option of cloning. Whereas when you don't have a project, and like you have a project but it's not there in Git, how to achieve this? It's very simple. Sign in and go for the create option. Okay, it will take your path and everything, and it will push it to. And now you see if there is any changes, you will get the option to publish. We'll come back to our solution explorer. This part is called solution explorer. We have already discussed yesterday. Okay. Now I'll clear all the code what we have done, because we'll assume we don't know what it is, and we'll try to learn each and everything. We'll keep only using systems as of now. As of now, you just understand this is a namespace and certain code are there. We'll discuss namespaces when time comes. Okay. So first part is program structure. Okay. Now usually program structure will be something like this. You will have a class, say, don't write, because again I'm going to delete all those things. We don't know what class is, so I'm just as a part of discussing what should be the ideal structure, I'm writing this. But I will delete it, and again we'll start with what we were doing, because we don't know what class is, what method is. So we'll not try to understand currently. Okay. And then you'll have and main can have arguments, or it can be without arguments. Now what is arguments? Sorry, Saturasi. No, I thought you'll ask this question. I don't get that explanation. Okay, so if any kind of questions like this kind of question comes to your mind, you'll keep it for later, because we are not going to discuss. This is the structure of the program. This is where it starts. Okay, and I'll just try to run it. And mostly it will come in the first screen, and we'll push it into second. Is some error or something? Huh? Actually, the process is this one. First this is build. What is the error it is showing?
Program does not contain a static main method suitable not for entry point.
It is there. Static
Static main.
spelling. Still the same.
Yeah.
Still the error is same.
Same.
Oh. Yeah, I think so. That thing is also gone. Yeah, it has come here. Okay, what it shows, the top.
This is where
Okay. So now if you can see in this program, I have never invoked this method called main. Right? Invoking means calling. Methods will not run automatically. Right? You have to call the method. It's very simple, what do you say, understanding of a method. Method needs to be like yesterday's example. If you see, we have declared the method in the bottom and then we have called it in the top, right? Why? Because the method will not got called automatically if you write. If you don't call, nothing happens. That also we saw yesterday, right? Until unless you call it, but main method is little different. This is considered to be a entry point of a program. Now suppose you have two classes, like we have one class here called my class. Now I'll show you another thing, right? Now this is called my class 1. Now what will happen if I run?
First line will execute.
Let's see that. It will give an error. Because when there is more than one class containing main method, it will search for a startup class. Okay, startup class most of you would have. Again, there is any spelling mistake, I think so. Oops. U should be small. What is
You have to change the name.
no. It is taking. Where is that start? it's S is caps, rest all is small, right? What is the error?
There are 2 empty points.
That's why we give a startup to identify. Same error, is it? There is a resolution, like, if there is a if there are multiple entry points, so the program will consider main entry point as startup, where the class name is startup. I think so. I'll just have a look.
Can we have 2 main methods?
Hmm?
Can we have 2 main methods in one?
We can have, but identification process is, it will consider entry the main entry class where the class name is startup.
It's predefined, sir.
Yes, it is predefined. Main function itself is predefined. Use startup. I think so there is some configuration that needs to be done. Okay, we need to use the iConfigure and all those things. Okay, let's skip this for time being. So this is your basic format where,
Maybe specify from where we need to start up, or we need to pass one argument as part of the startup.
so I'll send you, like, along with this, right? I'll send you the exact thing. Because in phone it is difficult to search, and basically there is a scenario where you have multiple main, but it will pick the startup, main from startup class. Okay. If in case, usually you don't write main everywhere, but if in case you have multiple main, then which main will be considered as the entry point will be decided on the class name. Okay. Now there might be additional configuration to indicate which one is startup class.
In that case, now it will be able to identify the startup. If in case I have multiple mails, if I have the sequencing, then how will that organize automatically?
See, after that it's up to you to call. Entry point is when you run the program.
Okay.
Understand what is entry point? When you run a program, where it will start it from. See, if you don't have anything, it will start executing from the first instruction. But when you have structure, like you have namespace, you have classes, and then you have multiple methods. Because this is the modern organization, how we go about things, right? Then which one you will prioritize, right? You have to just find out which one is the first main. After that, it will become how you navigate the program, right? From where to where you want to call. Okay. So this is the organization. I'll delete and we'll start from this, just to understand how your program will look like. Now, our topic today is basics, so we'll start with, to any program to function properly, we need data types, right? So that's what we'll discuss it. First, I'll switch back to normal. Okay, you can look at me now. Okay, we are not going to write anything for time being. Now, to understand what are data types, first what we need to understand.
What is data type?
Very good. There are two words, data type, right? First one is data. and the second one is type. So first we will focus on more important thing, that is data. Now, Saptarisi, tell me what is data.
It is a written form of certain event.
Okay,
Or
like,
text form of certain event.
like, can you give me an example? Okay, you define me what is garbage.
Garbage.
Yes.
Has to work at
Yes, that is also a garbage, and from that also you can understand what is data. You tell me, can you define what is garbage, what is data?
data is something where you are, inputting certain form of character or numbers, information.
Correct.
It is a collection
Now,
of
for example, I'll give you, you go to a mall and then they tell you that there is a lucky draw system, so please fill the form, okay, and then you'll get a trip to certain places, and then you fill a form, right? That form is what for the person who gave you the form? Data. Data. Now, for example, now you understood this concept, right? Now you think that there is a guy standing in some crowded place and distributing pamphlet. When he is distributing pamphlet, what the pamphlet contains? Data, right? Now you take that pamphlet. Now what do? You had some churmure. You put on that and eat. What this paper became? You are understanding? What is data, what is garbage? It's a very thin line what separates both of them. A data can anytime become garbage, or sometimes garbage becomes data. How? Like we will not discuss the reverse way. The kabadi wala, right? You throw the garbage, they make profit out of it, right? For them, it's not garbage. So garbage and data is like, depends upon with whose perspective you are seeing it, right? For you it is garbage, right? And for them it is data, right? A monkey gets a diamond. For them, for him, the diamond is garbage because he'll be more happy if you give him fruit, right? But for a man, diamond is data. Fruit might be at times garbage when you are not hungry, right? Even somebody offers, you'll say, no, not now. So basically a piece of information is called data if the information is required by you or needed to you. If the information stops being important to you or useful to you, it becomes garbage and you dispose it, right? Why we are talking about data? Because in program, it might be very important to write some logical things, but it's even more important to process data, right? We actually do most of the things to just process data, right? If without data, probably your program will not mean anything, okay? So you understood basic thing, what is data, what is garbage. Now, when you have data and you want to process it, right? In real-time scenarios, you will have data in certain forms, right? Information, what you want to process. Or you can say desired information, not only information, because all the information might not be useful for you. For example, there was a rain today, heavy rain today in Andhra Pradesh, right? For you, you will not take umbrella and come to office, because for you this information is, irrelevant. It might be relevant to people who are staying in that particular area of Andhra Pradesh. For you, it might be important that whether it will rain at 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock in HSR or not. Or in your way to your home, on the way to your home, if it rains, then you will be prepared. Now first thing you understood, data like required information is needed to be processed. Now to process any information, you need to know about the type of the information you want to process. And it's even more important that your computer understands what type of information is it. You understand it is irrelevant, right? When you say, I have a book, because you are able to correlate because you have your book in hand. But now you try to make your computer understand that you have a book. Computer will not understand what book means. You have to make your computer understand what a book is, right? What kind of information your book holds. If you are able to convey to your computer that part, then it will start understanding what book is and what are the functionality of the book, what it contains, what kind of, for example, your book has pages. No, okay, right? How you define pages, you can say maximum these many characters can be carried in one line, there will be 20 lines into that or 30 lines into that. You will understand, okay, this is a basic definition of or rule of a page, how a page will behave. Now, what page will contain? Again, lines, you can say, and say columns also because number of characters you are telling. Now, in one line, what kind of data will be stored? Then you will say a character data will be stored. Now, it makes more sense, okay. How you will divide a page. Now, you will say a book contains 50 pages or this kind of book, classroom 20 rupees book contains 30 pages. Now, you understand how to understand a book. Getting basic concepts. So, you have to understand how your information is behaving and what type of information is. For computer to understand what type of information you are trying to convey and he needs to store and process, you need to have the data type or at least primitive data types. What do you mean by primitive data types? At least in the basic level, when you say store book, computer will say, I don't know what book is. Then you'll say, okay, can you store, certain number of characters at once? So yes, I have a data type called string. Now you'll say, okay, can you have a variable number of, rows for string? It will say, yeah, I have a data type called, say, you can say array, you can say array of type string, you can say a list of type string, and so on, right? So, like that you can create complex data types. You are getting it? Now we'll come to that little later. I'm just trying to make you understand why we need data types. Okay? And then we'll talk about how many different kind of data types are, how it is used, how it is handled. Okay? So basically we divide data into two broader segments. We are not discussing about name of data types, we are discussing about type of data. Right? One is called value type, other one is called reference type. Now, again, what we should answer in these two things? What is value type? What is reference type? Now, anyone from this side, right hand side, can tell me value type? What is value type? No, not like that. What do you mean by value type?
Which has some provenance.
Okay, and reference type?
We take from something which is already there. We take it.
Name, place.
Correct, but that you guys are giving example, right? You guys are giving me example. This is not the basic basis of, they're not even definition and not even what's a base for classifying these two things. What example you are giving?
Value type is something where it has a kind of a number or a character. References.
Again, you are getting there only. See,
referencing means it is a kind of a template. What you are using.
No, that's what it's not the exact answer. Anyone else?
Value is you are directly assigning the value. Reference, you are not directly assigning the value, but you are giving the reference point, say for example, address from where I can get that particular.
Correct. Your definition is correct. But my question will be why? I asked you, right, when you hear about something, you should ask question why. Why I need two different types, value type, reference type.
Memory storage.
Either way we need memory storage. Without memory storage, how will you store the data?
Value type is already predefined, but reference type we can create.
No.
What
String is a predefined. It's a, string data type is predefined, right? But this is a reference type. No one. Saptrisi, तुमसे ये उम्मीद नहीं था. You disappointed me.
A certain value we are directly assigned to that very reference type.
I don't want examples. Everybody will give examples here. You know, he started with you or you started with the example only. I need to know, or I need to make you guys understand why a value type is typecasted as value type, why a reference type is typecasted as a reference type. Why? Basically, see, nothing is done without purpose, especially intelligent thing like computer programming, right, which is a well thought out process. When I say, okay, that guy was little bored, he said, okay, let's introduce one more type. Okay, let's have reference type also. Not like that. He will not increase his time because he is trying to do something productive, right? So when he has created a reference type, it means he was facing some problem, some things to be addressed which a value type cannot address. Okay. You have studied C. What is linked list?
Linked list.
Yes.
Linked list is a linked list basically one array which is one node is connected to the next node, and I followed the definition, but I can explain what is that.
Yes. You know what you are telling is
Linked list
like,
is a
you know,
list of nodes which are connected.
you know, it is something like you have gone to any temple, this or ISKCON temple you have gone? No. Okay. Few people from you guys. So it's like I went to ISKCON temple to climb 100 stairs or 200 stairs. Is this the purpose? You are telling me how linked list is formed. You are not telling what it does.
Linked list is a certain amount of nodes which are connected.
How many? Like what is the total amount of nodes?
In number of nodes.
N number of what do you mean by n?
N is a finite number.
Yes, it is a infinite. It is a finite number. But what exactly is that value? Can it be 1?
Which value?
N.
Linked list? No.
Then-
Less than 1.
Okay, chalo. 2.
Linked list, yeah,
Number of nodes 2.
that is
100.
yeah, that is.
In the same program, it can be 2 and 100 as well, both dynamically.
No.
Yes, I think so. You don't know what linked list
I
is.
don't know.
Okay.
But yeah, minimum 2 is required.
Okay, I'll tell you what linked list is and why I'm talking about linked list here. See, basically, there is a basic problem in a programming this thing. There's something called a program memory, a program data memory, okay, which is fixed. At the compile time, you have to allocate memory for each and everything. So suppose you have done memory allocation and now you have a string. Now how long a string can be? Yes, but see, digits also will vary based on requirement. But number of bytes, you know, an integer will take is fixed. It cannot take max more than that. Where what is the limit of string, not string, string in C#? Anybody is having any idea?
C, I think it's 4 bytes.
Here, no, it's C also, it's not 4 byte. Up to 2 GB.
String.
So maximum length of string can be of data size of 2 GB. You understand how up to how long it can go. That's why, and when you don't know, it can be as low as 1 byte. 1 byte is how many bits? 8 bits. Everybody knows that, all those things, right? So starting from 8 bits, that is 1 character, up to 2 GB. The range is huge. And if you allocate this in a program memory, see, problem with a variable size is like, for example, name, right? Now, he is very happy because 4 letters, 4 characters, done. Mine is intermediate. Then there is Subramanyam. You are getting it? So, it varies. If you allocate a maximum amount of memory it can use, you are wasting memory. If you do minimum, you don't have enough space. So what exactly there is a process done is, we allocate memory in the program data. And we reference to another memory outside program data, which is starting point is this, and ending point is there only as of now. When data comes, we'll have a ending point attached to it. So you'll know exactly how long it is. And because outside program memory, you don't have any limitations on how much space you are gonna use. And it can expand and shrink based on your program requirement. You are getting it. But if you do a sequential, see there is, again, if I go into details, it will be a problem. But I'll try. We have a sketch. Yes. Okay. ऊपर करो. Yes, done. थोड़ा ढीला करना. Leave it there. Yes. Okay. See how a programming language works is, there is something called program counter. In the first class I was discussing about program counter. See what happens is, say this is a sequential machine. Computer is a sequential machine. So basically it goes one by one, right? So suppose this is a chart of memory location. So program counter will hold address of this. Once this is executed, it will come here, 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 here. It works like this. And whether it is program or your data, everything is based on, everything has a address to it. Like without address, you cannot reach somebody's house. Similarly, you cannot access a particular memory. In the memory, you will have corresponding data. Okay? So suppose when program counter is here, it means it is accessing data of this particular memory location. Okay? Now, suppose we are talking about a value type. So suppose we have so much data, where if it accesses, suppose this 2 block is taken by one piece of data, for suppose it is double, for example. It has taken 2 word. Now what is word? Anybody knows? Okay. And then double word? See, 1, 0, 1, a Boolean character is called bit, right? Then combination of 4 bits are called nibbles. Combination of 2 nibble is called byte. Combination of 2 byte is called word. Okay, and then combination of 2 word is called double word. Okay. After that, actually they stopped making any specific names for that, so they started calling it 64-bit. Okay, so basically 32-bit is a double word, and the 16-bit is a word. That's why we call it word processor. Right? That time processors were 16-bit when Microsoft Word was invented, and so this name was word processor was 16-bit processors. Okay, so it used to process 16 bits at a time. So here, suppose this is, double word. So as of now, we are talking in terms of C, but basically more than one block of memory, because higher you go in, like in C's are 32-bit, right? So one block of memory itself will be 32 bits. Okay, suppose you are here, a floating point number or a decimal number you are calculating, so it takes more than one memory location. The data type is, suppose, float, and it takes 2. So it's all processor already knows when it is reading this, it will read this also and this also, because together it forms one this thing, and return, and then it will not point here, it will directly point here next time, because it knows, because we are accessing int data type, or sorry, float data type, so next memory location is here. Because of the data type, it knows data is stored in 2 consecutive memory locations. But when it comes to a reference type, you don't know whether it take 2, 3, 4, right? And program counter is a busy thing, right? It will not wait on for so much thing. To make it faster, what it does is, okay, we cannot store data here because we don't know how long data will go. Let's do one thing. We'll store it somewhere here. Is it coming here? Here. And here we have ample amount of memory location, and this address is, say, A. Okay. Now here we put A. So now this doesn't hold any data. It holds address. But because we know it is a data type of string, what we will do is program counter will send, and now will not access the data here. It will access one chunk of data and send it back to the program. It's like your OS. What exactly it does is it will understand A here, access the data, because program counter wonders how much memory location we need to access. Here it will access 1 and go back. But back in the program we know this is not data. This is address of a place where data is stored. And we'll start accessing data here till we get a end symbol. Okay? Or terminate, like end of termination of string. So this is clear. This is why we require a reference type. Value type you understood, because when you're accessing you will directly get the value. Whereas in reference type we have a fundamental problem that we cannot store all the data in one place. So instead of that, to make the operations faster, we store the address of the data where the data starts. Okay, and from here program will take care of this. Your C sharp runtime will take care of how to get the entire data. Okay, so this is value type and reference type. Any doubt, any confusion, you can.
Reference type basically comes for execute program faster.
Okay. Yes.
So reference time comes for execute program faster.
Manage the program better. Fast. See, when you add an additional layer of complexity, you will never make things easier or faster. You can make things safer and cleaner, in the sense when you were storing the data there, then there were a lot of other inherent problems in terms of designing your programming language. But whereas when you move it away, now see, it cannot become faster, because when you first access the memory, then go to that location, access the data again, right? It cannot be faster, but what it makes it easier. It doesn't interrupt the process of program counter, how it accesses the data, right? That process remains the same for value type and reference type.
If in case I have to access the data which is stored elsewhere using reference points partially, then how do I do it?
Partially in the sense what?
You said, since because you don't know the number of characters that it might hold, so you are passing it as a reference type. Now here I have about say 50 characters
Yeah.
outside, and I'm using the same address. Now I only will have to access 25 characters out of that 50 which is there.
Then it is up to data type. Like for example, you save it in array format, where you just access 1 to 50 only. Okay. Basically, when you have base address, you can. But these things happens in C. In C#, right? They will not let you play with any address. Like in C, if you read pointers, it is very powerful tool. Pointer is very complex and very powerful, but it is very dangerous also because it lets you directly access the memory. So, and in program, you should never allow that. If you want to have control and if you want to keep your system safe. So C# never allows you to directly play with addresses properly. There is a reference type variable, but it is mostly managed by C#. They will not let you play with the address directly. And when you want partial data, when you retrieve the data, you extract partial. There are a lot of ways to do that, right? So let's see. Let me open. The book, and we'll go through the data types one by one. And sorry, I have not sent you guys this book. I'll do it today. Okay, variables and data types. Okay, first we'll understand about data types and then we'll know about variables. Okay. Yeah, this is better for me. Okay. So now this is something you guys need to not understand, but remember, and how to, like, what kind of, you don't have to remember, you have to mug up. Like, what is the difference between remembering something and mugging up something?
Already stored.
Yeah.
Mugging up, you don't require any thing, you just have to buy hat and keep it whenever required.
Yeah, but I'll tell you what is the difference between mugging up. Like 7 8 ja? 7 8 ja? 56. Did you multiply and told me the answer? No. How? Exactly, it's by heart. Why I'm telling you have to do by heart this thing? Because see, these are the things you'll use day in and day out. If you want to become a .NET programmer, you should not put your brain to recall what int is. It should directly come in your mind, right? What is the range? Like, not exactly like to the digit. You should know what is the range. Like, if you have a scenario that your data will be almost within this range, what kind of data type you will use, right? Because you have, say, int, sort, right? So you know when to use int 32 or like 32-bit and 16-bit or long 64-bit, right? So you should know if your data range is, suppose if your data range is 1 to 1000 and you are using long, basically your program will be slower, right? So we should avoid that. We should concentrate on sort, because that itself is, having a range of minus 32,000 to plus 32,000. You're getting it? So programming, if you are having these things from tip of your finger, you should be able to do programming much better. It turns out at least much faster. If you are not that good a programmer also, at least you will write it faster. Right? You will save time. Suppose if they do something in 4 hours, right? Probably they'll use brain for 2.5 hours and they'll type in 1 hour. You type in 10 minutes, take 2.5, 3 hours, 3.5 hours, you will get extra half an hour. And what will be your delay? 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. So it is never about that somebody is very good programmer, because that is natural. Somebody's brain in computer, this thing will work little better than others. You have to counter this with extra hard work. Like increasing your typing speed. You remember the syntax so that you will type it faster. And final throughput will be almost same. So nobody will tell this guy is better and you are not that good. Funny. Sorry. So first data type is byte. Now you see first three columns. Fourth column is your, you can say, description, but first three is C#, VB and .NET type name. Now what is C#? VB? .NET type? Yeah, I'll tell you. See here, why it is given 3 different columns, I'll tell you. Third one is CTS. In the first chapter we have gone through a concept called CTS, Common Type System, right? Basically .NET IL intermediate language has a common type system. So basically byte in C# with small b, byte in VB with capital B, and byte with capital B in. So this you can directly convert. Suppose there is some other programming language which has byte with a different keyword. Say, okay, system byte. That is the name, the keyword name in their programming language. So when they are writing a IL code, they will do that. So you should know what is the equivalent IL code, intermediate language code. So this is your common, like your common type. Okay. So that's why this third column is, it's not framework. This is CTS. Your common equivalent CTS code is this, or your IL code will be this. Okay. Now byte, as we have already discussed, it has 8 bits. And the range is 255. Now there is something called S byte also. Okay, it might not be here.
So in C# we can use the both, right? Small b and capital B both.
System, like system dot byte you can use. System is again you will use your all CTS.
Okay.
But no, C# is a case sensitive programming language.
Okay.
And most of the system defined, there are user defined and system defined data types. So basic data types you will get to know. When you write byte, it will be in dark blue. Most of you have seen the code, right? There is something in light blue and there is something in dark blue. When it is dark blue, it is system defined. When you have a light blue, it is implemented.
User defined.
Yes, user implemented, not defined. User defined, it basically we tell when we are writing something, but where something pre-existing, it is implemented by Microsoft only, but that is not inherent with C#. Getting it? So you have byte and there is something called signed byte. Like you see a range of 0 to 255. Now I will also tell you how a positive number and negative number is, you know, or you can say unsigned bit like byte and signed byte, like you know, there's a very popular this thing they put. Basically what happens when you say some number is negative and positive, in normal terms it is very good to put a minus symbol before and this is negative number, right? But in 0 and 1, how you will do that? Now we have only 0 and 1. You know the concept of how it reaches to like, you know, 0 to 255, right? No. Yes. So basically I'll tell you how exactly it is done. Yes. Now it is like, for example, this is, let me make 8 columns. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yes, 8, right? I'll say 1 0 0 0 0 0 1 0. What is this value? Or say 4. Let's start with nibble for you. This will be a little complicated. Okay. So 4 numbers. This is a nibble, like half bit, you can say, half byte. Okay. So a byte has 2 nibbles. One is LSB, one is MSB. Now, so we are considering our 4 bits. What would be this?
4.
Anyone else? Okay. There are very simple rules. See, this is 0, 1, 2, 3. So this is x, or say n into 2 to the power 3 plus or say n3 n2 into 2 to the power 2 plus n1 into 2 to the power 1 plus n0 into 2 to the power 0. Okay. Now n is the corresponding numbers in the placeholder. Now this is 1. So 1 into 2 to the power 3 is? Okay. Plus this one is 0. So I will not calculate this. This is already 0 0 0. So this will become 8. Okay, this number is 8. Now what will be the maximum here? 111, what will be the number? 4, 6, 7. This one? 8. How much? 15. So the range here is 0 to 15. Now writing this in one character, how we can do? Because this one, we don't represent this number into a normal digital format. We use a different pattern called hexadecimal. How many of you have heard hexadecimal representation? You, anyone else? Now hexadecimal, it means is you have a decimal system. Decimal system is 0 to 9. And you know, another 6 will come from A to F. A, B, C, D, E, F. Right? So 0 to 9 will count like this only. But for 10, what we will say? A. For 11, B. Like 15, F. Now, so 2 bytes will be from 0 0 to FF. When you see this, FF is nothing but your 255. Right? You saw, right? The last word is 1 less than the total combination. Total combination here is 256 because first number is 0. That's why maximum is 255. Now, how we'll achieve a signed number here? How we'll say this number is negative or positive? Right? Now, suppose if we have to achieve a signed bit, what we'll do, we'll say the last digit of MSB will not contribute in deciding the number. It will decide the sign, right? So if it is 1, it will be positive. It is like, you know, like if it is 0, it is positive. If it is 1, it is negative. So basically we have only 3 digits. In that case, here it will be 4 plus 2, 6 plus 1, maximum is 7, right? And minimum is 0. So you have, now previously it used to have 15 total, right? 0 to 15, that means 16 combination. Now how many, what is the maximum you got? 7, right? So that is a problem, right? You will lose half the range. If it is 255, you divide by 2, you know, the previous whole number will be your, in this, that is 256 divided by 2 is the range now. Okay, and in the positive side there will be 1 less. Negative side it will be full because it doesn't have to reach to 0. Starting point is -1. Whereas in the positive side we start with 0. So in the positive side when you see the counting, you will have 1 less always. So here 0 to 255. But if you 256 you divide by 2, in the negative side it will go to -127. Positive side it will be only 126. Okay, so this is byte. Now sort, int and large. These 3 are exactly same. Only difference is the range. One is, sort is not 32, it will be 16 bit. We have to do this thing, you can check to the power, you know. Yeah, it is written in 16, you can see there only, right? So this, you know, IL, you know, your type like CTS is int 16, so it is 16 bit. So we have used 16 bit for sort. You know, if you don't write anything, if you just write int, it is 32 bit. Long is 64 bit, right? Now you have single, double and float, double and decimal. Again, the difference is the size. Okay? And decimal is what? Only positive. Okay? Because it is a decimal system. Okay? But float and this thing, it is only the range, which is like if you have more range, you use double, otherwise use float. Getting it?
Unicode character.
Yes, it is usually, you know, 8 bit, but again in .NET you need to see what is the minimum size of this thing. Okay.
That is 8 bit.
Usually, you know, I was talking in terms of C. Here, what is the minimum bit size? Like, you know, like 1 byte. It will take 1 byte. Less than that, half byte you can't take, right? Okay. Now, after that, you have string. Okay. String, bool. Okay. Boolean type again is a value type only. It is just a bit. Okay, it just holds true or false. Now you see 2 star star and then object, right? So in this one you have string as reference type. Okay. Now you have date type, but here you see star. Okay. Because we directly use from CTS, timestamp, time span and date time. Okay. So we use exactly what we have in CTS. Okay. So to write date type only, you will see you have to use using system. If you don't put using system, your date time will not be available. Okay, and it is used as it is. You see both, the name is as it is. Now why you have two different variables for keeping time? Date time is also about time only, and you have time span also for time only. Can someone tell me the reason? Because this kind of data type difference is not available in other programming languages. Why you have two different variables given for that?
One is to record your actual date and time, whereas the word time span means the duration.
Correct. But what my question was, why not in other programming language? This should be, if that is the thing, right? I understand what exactly it does. But we have another question, right? Why? Why we need another variable?
In JavaScript, we are caring about object. We have only one object. You don't check one.
That's why you are a JavaScript developer. If you want to become .NET developer, C# developer, you need to learn all the data types.
.NET later implement this object.
Okay.
Previously, they are integrating from JavaScript. They learn JavaScript had this, so we are integrating C#.
No, object was there from day one. I'll tell you, this object is little different than your object. Little different, not much. Okay, so here we are now on date time and time span first. Anybody is having any idea? No. Let me, any of you answer me. What is 123 plus 50? Plus 50.
Sorry,
220.
Do you have any other number which you add to this and it doesn't become a number? Tell me one number if you add to this number and it becomes a non-number.
whatever.
Or any other data type. You can't do that. You have to add float, then only it will become a floating type. Right? But here calculation is little different with date. You subtract to date, you subtract now from today, what you will get? Now means today's date, like that is 6th of October 2023, 4:20 p.m. Subtract 6th of October 2023. What you will get? When you subtract y, you will get 5th of October. You will only get time. When you do an operation, you should get a different data type. You are getting only time. You don't have any date now.
So this is restriction, right? Not flexibility of the language.
It is not. It is general mathematics. Why you are including language in this? You subtract, you get me a new answer. You subtract two dates,
You will get one time.
right? That is a different data type.
That is time you can calculate in integer, right? Instead of another thing.
How you will calculate? It is
You need extra data type for that.
4:21 a.m. You write it in integer. Give it to me.
Yeah, you can convert. There is no issue.
Convert. See, that's what other programming languages doing. This is making life harder for programmer. What .NET is given you is
Restriction of C#. This is not flexibility of C#.
Okay.
We have that flexibility.
okay. That is your point of view. Basically, the other programming language doesn't have a direct mean of doing that. You have it in other languages. It is implemented again, but it is implemented by a third party, right? But not by the programming language. Here, this fix is given by programming language, wherein, and secondly, even addition operation is different. If you add 5 in 30, how much it will become? Correct. You add 5 in that, day 30, what it will become? 4 of next month. or 3 of next month, or 5 of, like, depending upon, whether it is 31 days month or 30 days month. Next day it will become 5, and month will get increased to 11. So the addition also is little different than what we do a normal addition. That's why you need a separate data type which holds. If you want to add, subtract, and you see what is the difference, you subtract 2 dates and you want how many days have passed between 2 dates, right? Doing that in other programming languages is a little tricky. You need some different tools. Here you can directly do it with timestamp. You can also tell how much minute, second, and millisecond has passed in that with just one operation. So timestamp is used for that. That's why we have additional variable called time span. It tells how much time have elapsed in number of days, years, month, minute, second, millisecond. Okay? Clear? Now, we have the final one. We have few more, I guess, but we have a data type called object, right? See, again, object data type, we will discuss about this little later, because when we are discussing classes, namespaces and all, the meaning of object will become more clear. As of now, you can understand this is a master data type. It can hold any kind of data type you have in .NET Framework, or any data you have in .NET Framework, you can directly put in. When again Saptarshi will tell, this is there already in JavaScript, right? And everything is object only.
And we are happy with that.
Yes, and then you move to TypeScript, right?
Yeah.
Where you have to write int again.
In JavaScript it is also there. There is no issue. If we not declare anything, that means it's default object.
Okay. So these are the basic, and an object is again a reference type. Now we'll understand second part, that is variable, right? And then we'll understand what is the significance of variable. Data type, anybody has any confusion? So tomorrow's assignment, like Monday's assignment, would be to have all the data type what? Mugged up, by heart. Yes. Yeah. So don't keep anything else in the heart for this weekend. It's only data types. Okay. So now second thing is variable. Now what do you mean by variable?
Variable is a container. You can store something there based on the container type.
Okay. Anyone else?
It can change, it can be either A or B.
Okay. Anyone else? Yeah. Everybody is, there. Anyone else who wants to define variable? Okay. In a simple word, variable is something which varies, which is not fixed. Yeah, which is not constant. Very simple. Something which is not constant, varies time to time. Now variable also is of a certain type, right? And we use this property to store data, right? So variable, because it can vary from time to time, and or in normal life scenarios also data changes, right? And we want to manipulate data. That is one of the primary objectives of writing program. We want to manipulate data. To manipulate, we need to first hold the data. To hold the data, we need classification of data, that we have already done now, right? We have so many data types. Now we want to store it, right? To store the data of a particular type, we need additional, feature from your programming language, that is called variables, which holds the data. Now, and there is certain syntax to do that, right? As you see, first thing is declaring a variable. So can you see this? What we do is, here int error code, and there is one more bit of line of code which is not known to you as of now. This is called semicolon. This is known to you. Why we have written? Probably not. This is called termination. This indicates my statement is complete. Okay. Now compiler can go ahead and compile this bit of code, right? And there is one more thing here. That is double slash. This is a comment. Again, we will discuss about comment, just few lines below this, but this will be ignored by your compiler. When it encounters double slash, this is a backward slash, right? A forward slash.
No,
Yeah. Backslash, yes. So this will be ignored by compiler. Okay. Now there is two variable declared, one of type integer named error code. Second one is string name my name. Now what do you mean by this error code and my name? Basically this is labels. Like variables are basically labels to, or you can say address. In the backend when you compile the code, this error code actually will denote a memory location where your variable will be stored. First one is a value type, so it will directly store the value what you put in there. Second one, string, is a reference type, so it will hold address of another memory location where the data will be stored. Okay. Now in the second line what we did is we have assigned the values. So this is how we do assignment. There is a equal to is a assignment operator. Again, about different type of operators we'll get to know little later in the same chapter, and this chapter might go on for 2 to 3 class. It might. Okay, because this and the next chapter is the most important chapters, and after that your thing will be over. So it is good if it is going for a little longer time. Okay. So what you see here is a equal to is assignment operator. It means 10 and it is flows right to left. That means 10 will be stored in error code. Okay. 10 will be, that's how you say right to left. The value in the right will go into variable which is declared in the left hand side. Okay. Anyway, this is the normal convention also, everybody I think so knows this. Okay, because first one is integer type, that's why we have assigned 10 into this, and in my name is of type string, so we have given a name. Now you see a double quotes, right? Double quotes indicates a string. So any string characters will be enclosed with 2 double quotes, and yesterday I have also told you if you have a double quotes in your string only, how to do that. You have to put a escape character, so a single backward slash and then double quotes, then it will not consider as a special character. Currently the meaning of this is not normal. This is special meaning, that is starting of a string. Similarly here ending of a string. If you want a double quotes to have its normal meaning as a character, then you have to put a escape character, because in C# double quotes has a special meaning. Understood? Now let's try this. Very simple. Error code. String, what was that? Now when we compile, what will happen?
It will keep the memory location.
Declare.
It will not do anything.
Declare.
I will just
It is just declared, it will not do anything. Yesterday we saw, right? It will skip both the lines. Even it will not allow you to create a breakpoint now. Because it will, your pointer will not come there. Those line of codes will not get executed because there is no value. If there is no value, why to create a variable and keep it empty? Right? So .NET will not create, it will just, like when you write here, it will only understand there is a variable called error code. When you say it values is 10, now you will be able to put a breakpoint here. But here, you try to put a breakpoint, it will never happen. Okay? So you have to put a value first. Second one is my name equals, now I'll give double quotes, then okay, Harsh Patel. Okay. So why we don't have to declare, because it's already declared, so we can directly use the name. But both will give a light green colored thing to just indicate you have created, you have done, but you have not using it. Okay. So if you write console, right line my name plus okay, let's run it. Okay, it's taking time to run this code also. Okay, it is, yes. Okay, here we have given a breakpoint, so it has stopped here, and you can see variable, because okay, now I should put F10 or F11. What will happen if I press F11?
Step over.
F11 is for step into, F10 is for step over. Remember it properly. Okay, here it doesn't matter, because what? What it is showing? Okay, now it is showing. Correct it is? I think so. After that it has happened. It is here only. Okay, it has come. Say F10. Now you see the value 10 would have come here. Now the value text would have come here in my name. Okay. Where is the still some error? What? No. It is coming. Okay. 10, right? This is behaving as expected. you saw how we are doing a variable assignment. Okay, so we'll close it today right about here only. Let's see if something else is there on the same lines. Yeah, few more things like how we do. See, usually we don't declare and then later few places we do that, but most of the places we declare and do the assignment at the same time, because we don't want to write 2 lines of code, one for declaring and one for initializing. So we do it in one. You can see in the below this thing. Okay, so this is what we have. This is what we were doing before, like declaring and then assignment. And this kind of thing will give you error. Why? Because this is only declared, not initialized. So if you try to do any operation, it should fire or it may fire error. But whereas if you initialize it and then do it, right? So basically what we are doing is we are adding 1 in the number, so it will 0 plus 1 will become 1 and it will be stored back in number itself. So this kind of operation we can do. Similar kind of operation you can do plus plus. Again, we'll learn about it little later. When we are working with decimal, let's start in the next class. So you guys remember that next class onwards, on next class we'll start from decimal, right? Okay, and just do practice, create your Git Git repository, push your code, start with all the variables. Don't wait for me to, because practice doesn't take much time. For me, because I'm explaining what exactly decimal is, how it works, what is string, what is int, it is taking time. But for you, when you are practicing, it won't take half an hour also, right? So do practice with all the data types, do operations, have questions, come back to me. See, and it is not always that I'll have answers for you. I'll take time, but what I can ensure is I'll definitely have an answer, not immediately, if not possible, later also. But don't hesitate, right? As I told you, if I also only don't know answer after being in the industry for such a long time, it is very common somebody not to know something, right? Only thing is be persistent and definitely slowly it will come to you. Okay guys, so this is we are concluding today's class, okay, till integer basics like demo of number and string. From decimal onwards we'll start on Monday.